Good morning. I'm Crystal with Whole New Perspective. Welcome to my channel. Listen, if you have not subscribed, please consider doing so, and please give the video the thumbs up. This past week, has been severe weather preparedness week in North Carolina. So this has been a week of preparedness. The sort of things that we prepare for here in North Carolina and things that we talked about during this week have been tornadoes, hurricanes, lightning, thunderstorms, and flooding. And the main thing that we needed to do, or that you really should do, is to have a plan for all of these type of severe weathers. And most of these will affect the infrastructure. So what does that mean? That usually means that you're going to be without power, you're going to be without water as well. So those are two things that you need to prepare for. And most often, you're able to shelter in place. So you need to be prepared to shelter in place for at least 2 weeks. So you would need 2 weeks worth of water. So most say you need 1 gallon of water per day per person. So just add that up depending on the number of people that you have in your household. And you also need 2 weeks of food. Now, if you're not sure how to go about preparing for that, just sit down and write your list of what you have eaten the last few weeks and go ahead and prepare for it like that. Now, canned foods, long-term storage foods, those things are good when you don't have power. And there are many other things that you need to have ready when the power is out. You need to make sure that you have a weather radio. Let me show you. So this is my radio. This radio is battery operated. It's solar operated, and it also has a hand crank, and you can crank it. So this type of radio communication flashlight is something that you should have at your home. You should have lighting, batteries that operate that. Have yourself a headlamp. That way you can walk around hands-free. So those things are some things that are very important to have. Make sure that you have copies, physical copies of your important documents, and put them into a plastic bag, Ziploc, or something that it will remain waterproof. That way you have that. So most of the time, as I said, you're going to be able to shelter in place. You want to make sure that you have your first aid supplies ready as well. And hopefully you may have some sort of a generator, whether it's a gas generator, a solar generator, or both types of generators. I tell you, 20 years ago, when my youngest daughter she was a baby, we had a severe ice storm come through. It was in the month of January. My oldest daughter was away at college. My husband was away at work, and it was just the two of us. And so I knew by by listening to the weather stations, I figured it was going to be pretty bad. They said it was going to be pretty bad, and that there will be a lot of power outages. And so I got up early that morning and did as much as I could. I actually did a lot that night. Got up early that morning, did as much as I could, because I figured we would lose power. And we did. Around 7 o'clock that morning, we lost power. Now, we have gas heat, and so I was still able to heat our home, but she was on some medical equipment that required electricity. And at that time, I didn't have my solar, I didn't have my gas either. Now, I had everything else that you could imagine, but I didn't have a way to charge the equipment that she needed. The good thing is that I have family in the area and they had power, and think about the eyes on the roads, but they made sure they came to get us. And so we were fine. But from that point on, I made sure that we had a generator, and that was very important for us. And so we now have a gas generator. Several different types of gas can operate it, as well as solar. So think about the type of equipment. If you have medical equipment that you need, think about being able to operate that equipment. How are you going to operate that equipment when the power goes out? You know, I think about the power going out and all the, everyday type of things that's happening, whether it is all these storms that are going on. That's when I think about power outages, because that is when we have had power outages, hurricanes coming through, lots of thunderstorms coming through. We've had some flooding in the area. I think I even showed you some flooding. It comes up to my neighbor's house, not ours. We're fortunate enough so far that we haven't had it come up to ours, but it has come up to our neighbors and destroyed their fencing. So we really need to be very careful. And in talking about, sheltering in place, there's a time that you may not be able to shelter in place and you have to leave your home. So if you have to leave your home, you want to make sure that you have a bag that's ready to go. Some, call it a go bag. Others call it a 72-hour bag. This is actually my bag. Now, I'm not going to go through this bag right now. I have an older video with it, but I'm also going to do a new video because I need to go through this bag and make sure that I prepare it for another season. And so when the time changes, that's really a good indication for me to do a lot of things. That means I need to go through my bags, check my bags. Also they talk about making sure you change the batteries in your fire detectors at that time too. So that is Sunday or Saturday night, Sunday, 2 a.m. in my area. That's when the time changes and we spring forward. So that is a good time and a good reminder for me to go ahead and check my 72-hour bag. And so I'm going to have a lot of things in that bag, some similar things that I have in my home in case of a power outage. But these things will be smaller and, things I won't be able to have as much water. But I'll show you this bag. I'll show you what I have in this bag in another video. But I really just wanted to come and talk about it because this is severe weather preparedness week here in North Carolina, and I really just wanted to talk about it, talk about the things that we've done. I know on Wednesday there was a statewide tornado drill, so make sure that your family has a plan. If your children are home alone, make sure that they understand what they need to do in case of a tornado or a hurricane, any type of emergency. Make sure that there's a family plan in place. Now, I wanted to bring awareness to preparedness this whole month of March, and that's what this video is about as well. And to do that, I'm using the hashtag Preparedness 2023 collaboration. So if you want to participate, all you need to do is enter hashtag preparedness 2023. And if you would, please just tag me so that I am aware that you have participated. You know, this is a really good time with so many different things going on for us to prepare and to be ready. And a lot of us prepare differently. A lot of us prepare for many different things. And so it's an opportunity for us to teach each other what we're preparing for and how we're preparing for those things. And it's also a wonderful opportunity to practice with the things that you have so that you know how to use them if you need it. That's the worst thing would be to need something, think you have it and it's ready, and then all of a sudden you recognize that it was not ready or it is not what you thought it would be. I will say that that happened to me with water. I had plastic jugs and I had water stored in some plastic jugs. I went to get the water and there was no water in the jugs. And so I've learned, and it wasn't sitting on concrete either. And so I've learned to make sure that I am rotating that water. So this is also a good time for those of you that have water stored throughout your homes or wherever you have your water stored. This is a good time to make sure that you are rotating that water. Rotate your food as well. You know, when I go through my bag, I'm going to check my food in here and make sure that the food is still good and in date. And if it's not, I'll be changing that out. There's a different type of food that I want to keep inside of my go bag or my 72-hour bag than I do, you know, in home. So thank you guys so much for coming along with me. I really do appreciate it. Again, if you haven't subscribed, please consider doing so. Please give this video the thumbs up and let's keep on praying and prepping, family.